Hi everyone. Now, as you probably know, Zul'Gurub is going to come out in April, at least it was stated to do so in blue posts by Blizzard developers. Now, Zul'Gurub is located down in Stranglethorn Vale, and it's going to be quite easily accessible by both Alliance and Horde. With Zul'Gurub, a whole bunch of things is going to come. Among those things, a new reputation that is tied to the raid called the Zandalar tribe. Now, Zandalar tribe is going to be offering a whole bunch of reputation connected items. So the higher reputation you have, the more items and receipts you're going to have access to. And some of these receipts are the Bloodvine pieces receipts, which is going to be available for tailors starting at friendly all the way up to revered. Now there are 3 pieces of these Bloodvine sets, so you get the first receipt at friendly, second at honored, and third at revered. Now the Bloodvine set is special because it has a whole bunch of spell hits on it, and it's going to be the best in slot for casters, because with this 4% spell hits that these 3 pieces are going to allow you to have, casters are going to be able to be spell hit capped for the first time in Classic, so that is a huge deal. Now, in order for tailors to actually be able to make these pieces, besides the receipts, they're going to be needing 2 rather expensive ingredients or materials. One of them is mooncloth, and there's probably people at mountains of mooncloth right now, and the other thing is going to be Bloodvine, which I suppose is technically a herb that is going to be available inside Zul'Gurub. Now, the way this is going to work is that any herbalist who has obtained the blood scythe and herbs inside Zul'Gurub has a chance of getting Bloodvine from each flower. Now, first of all, in order to get the Bloodvine, you have to get lucky when opening up the jinxed hoodoo piles. Not too lucky, however, as the drop rate seems to be 25%. And by the way, all data in this video, all the facts, is going to be taken from the Classic database server, which is, well, it's a database for Classic data. So anyway, the blood scythe, like I said, will be obtainable by looting the jinxed hoodoo piles, and looking at the different spawn locations for the jinxed hoodoo pile, we see that some of them are in locations where you should be able to run in there solo as a hunter and open them. Meaning you should be able to solo farm a blood scythe, and since the drop rate is 25%, it shouldn't take more than a maximum of 1 reset to actually obtain the blood scythe. Now, once you have this blood scythe, you should be able to start solo farming a bunch of the herbs inside the instance. I've been looking at all the spawn locations for the different herbs inside Zul'Gurub, and there are 5 herbs that can spawn. It's Dreamfoil, Mountain Silver Sage, Golden Sandsam, Purple Lotus, and one I can't remember. And like I said, picking one of these herbs is going to give you a certain chance to obtain Bloodvine. It might be 25% again, and once you actually get Bloodvine, you get between 1 to 3 per herb. So I took a look at all the spawn locations for the different herbs at the map, and then I layered all of these maps onto each other, and then I marked out all the spawns with either a blue turquoise-ish dot or a red dot, and the, let's say, the criteria for which color I chose was whether I believe it's going to be able to get there using your pets and smart feign deaths on your hunter. So all the blue ones should be somewhat easy accessible, and the red ones should be either hard or not accessible at all, using only feign death and hunter pulling and pet pulling. But so the plan is basically to, once Zul'Gurub comes out, you want to have herbalism on your hunter at 280. The reason you want it at 280 is because that is the required level for picking Mountain Silver Sage. And once it's opened up, you create a raid group with a friend, and then you run in and locate some jinxed hoodoo piles. And then you hopefully get lucky and obtain a blood scythe on your first Zul'Gurub reset, and then you start picking the flowers. So on one raid where you need 20 people, like I said, you're gonna get enough Bloodvine to create a single set. So what this means is that there's going to be a absolutely huge demand for Bloodvine once Zul'Gurub opens up, you know, for the first maybe weeks or so. Just because they're hard to obtain, you don't get too many from a single raid. So if you're able to, you know, maybe even solo farm, I don't know, 5 Bloodvines per hour, you could be looking at a huge pile of gold. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly how much these Bloodvines are going to sell for, but it's, like I said, you're going to need 12, they're hard to obtain, unless you are a hunter or quite possibly a stealther. There seems to be 3 herb spawns where you can pick the herb without having to pull mobs away or anything like that. But you should have maybe 12 spawns available to you as a hunter, whereas rogues and druids maybe only have 3, so you should be able to much more efficiently gather these Bloodvine. So just level up herbalism right now. As you could see from some footage, I did this mainly by picking herbs inside instances, and you can do that inside Scholomance inside Scarlet Monastery, once you are at about 180 herbalism, and then you can go inside Marudon to pick these ghost mushrooms once you are at 245. So with all this said, I hope you're excited for Zul'Gurub. I hope you're excited to farm some Bloodvine on your hunter and quite possibly earn a huge amount of gold. Like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to not miss out more Zul'Gurub content that's on the way. See ya!